Good evening, everybody. I would like to call this regular meeting of council to order at 7 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. As we gather this evening, I acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Mayor's address. Sorry, let's get rid of this. As indicated in the final Renfrew Power Generation daily updates, the spring freshet for the Boncha River water management system has concluded and water levels are within the normal limits for this time of year. I'm thankful that once again, our communities along the Boncha River water system did not experience any flooding issues. Warmer temperatures will hopefully continue in the coming weeks. Since our last meeting, I attended 10 meetings for county and our municipal business. On April 30th, I attended the sun turning for the new paramedic base on Mindview Road in Whitewater Township. Construction has started and hopefully the new building will be ready for occupancy early in 2027. On May 7th, I attended a meeting of the Highway 17 Extension Advisory Committee. The RFP that was announced by MPP Billington in February for a design build for this extension has been changed to design only. In addition, the required consultation of First Nations is not being done concurrently and will only start once the design has been approved. This will delay the start of construction for a number of years. On April 22nd, County Council meeting, the resolution for the Burnt Bridge removal and replacement was defeated in a recorded tie vote. None of the three options provided by staff will move forward. However, the county will continue to inspect and monitor the existing structure until it is deemed unsafe, at which time it will be removed. At the May 13th County Council meeting, there was a lengthy discussion on the county's 1,275 rent-geared to income housing units in the Vision Forward. The report is attached to my mayor's address for your information. This is a complicated and challenging concern as the current units are at the end of life, and the building condition assessments indicated that the cost to renovate the units to meet current building code requirements outweigh the benefits of new rebuilt units. Another topic that came forward for discussion at County Council was the challenge that our forestry industry is facing regarding the high cost of transporting low-grade pulp to market. The other challenge is the increasing electricity costs that our local mills are experiencing. The mills are having to adjust their production operations in order to avoid the time of use electricity cost spikes. One mill is operating below capacity as a result of these higher electricity costs. The answer for our local forestry industry is a biomass facility to generate heat and electricity. And as local municipalities, we need to voice our concerns, engage with our MPPs, and advocate for a local solution. June is going to be a busy month for our staff and volunteers. On June 5th to the 7th, the Nowhere Music Festival is taking place at Ravens Knoll Campground. On June 20th, the Renfrew County ATV Club is hosting an ATV poker run in north of Algona Wilberforce. Our Recreation Committee is providing volunteer support for the event. And I want to remind council that the AORS trade show will be taking place on June 3rd and 4th in Petawawa at the Civic Center. And just to add on to, I just wanted to let council know that this morning in Renfrew, there was a ribbon cutting for 3 new rent-geared to income units. And the approach was there was an existing wartime house there. The house was sold, and they built a triplex in its place. And this is part of the vision forward that the county was looking at, is replacing some of these individual units with multi-units so that it creates more opportunities for housing. And also provides more flexibility because it spreads them out throughout different communities instead of concentrating all of those units in one space. So that is my mayor's address. And I have a motion that the May 19th, 2026 mayor's address be accepted as presented, moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Recchi-Schonfeld. Councillor Recchi-Schonfeld.
Just a very negative thing about the delay of start of construction for a number of years. So everybody's excited thinking things were going to start to happen, and now it seems like maybe it's just a delay tactic by the government thinking, yeah, okay, everybody's happy now, it's going to go ahead, and then they come around and say it's going to be a number of years. So that's like to me very frustrating. So I don't know if we as a township or we as a county can do anything to say this is kind of ridiculous. And then the other thing about the burnt bridge removal, so it's in a way, it's kind of a unique decision in that they're just gonna wait and see, and once it's deemed unusable or risk, then they're just gonna remove it, and that's it, that's all.
Well, I did ask some of those questions at county council, and they said that because they're working on a rationalization policy for looking at bridges that, you know, have limited traffic volume and limited properties that they access. They're putting together a policy that will address some of these on a more consistent basis. So that still has to come back for discussion. I don't know if it would change the outcome for this bridge, but it is still an opportunity to have another kick at the can.
And well, those, some people did reach out and want to know,
Yeah.
and those letters were sent out to various stakeholders. Will they receive this information too, saying
The
basically, and
county have received all of that information.
then they'll send that to those different
Yes,
stakeholders?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And your other comment, yeah, Highway 17, it is kind of disappointing, but the county is still going to keep pushing to move that, try and move that project forward sooner. The only good news that came out of that meeting was the fact that they have committed the funds to do this. But it's easier to commit funds if you're looking at a 10-year runway as opposed to
Well, maybe
2 or 3 or 4.
And in 10 years, the cost will be that much greater.
Yeah.
And I just thought something more would happen when that tanker caught on fire just outside of Pembroke,
Yes.
because that fuel was going right to Camp or CFB Petawawa. And I remember the county where they talked about, like, that's a major route. Like, what if
It
we
is.
have to get troops in or troops out, or what happens if something happens at CNL? Like, you know, what are we gonna do? Take it back? Okay, that was my message.
Any other comments? I'll call the vote, all in favor. That's carried, thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none. Then I have a motion that the April 21st, 2026 regular council minutes be accepted as presented. Moved by Councillor Recchi-Schonfeld, seconded by Councillor Buckle. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. And that brings us to our delegations, and with us tonight, virtually, we have Michelle Winnie from the Renfrew County Community Futures and Development Corporation. Are you there, Michelle?
Hi. Hello, thank you for having me here today or tonight, I guess.
Hang on, you're muted.
Yeah.
Can't hear me? I'm not on,
on.
I'm not on mute. Can you hear me?
You know what, 1 second. The volume stand, I think that's. Okay, try again, Michelle.
Hello? Testing, testing. Yeah, working. Thank you for having me here tonight to present Renfrew County Community Futures Program. Do you hear me well now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to share my presentation. There we go. Are you guys seeing that well?
Yes, we are.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, let me get started here. Thanks again for having us here. I'm excited to present our program to you all. So the CFP, so the Canadian Network of Community Futures, is funded by the Government of Canada through the RDAs, the Regional Development Agencies. And in Southern Ontario, we're funded by FedDev Ontario. So we're part of a network of of 267 CF offices throughout Canada, with 60 in Ontario. And each Community Futures office is independent and individually incorporated as a non-for-profit. And we have been serving Renfrew County now for 40 years. The Community Futures Program is designed to support businesses, community-based development, and employment by focusing on three main objectives. To support the community development projects, to maintain a sustainable loan program, and to offer business counseling, workshops, and seminars. And one of the primary mandates that we have is to offer small business financing. We always encourage clients to seek traditional funding sources for their financing, but as we all know, that's not always available, or it might not always meet the needs of the entrepreneurs. So that's where we step in, and we're able to take a bit of a higher risk, and we can help finance all types of viable business ventures, from startups, expansions, equipment purchases, working capital, and the list goes on. We can finance up to $300,000. And soon we will be able to finance up to $500,000 with a partnership with BDC that is coming up. And since our inception, we have advanced over $54 million in loans throughout Renfrew County, leveraged $47 million, and helped create and maintain over 6,000 jobs. And what makes us different from banks or other agencies is that all of your decisions are being made locally. So decisions are not being made in some head office in Toronto, but by local volunteer board of directors with diverse backgrounds and skill sets and experience here in Renfrew County. So we also do aftercare, where we follow you throughout your journey, check in with entrepreneurs. So we can be there from startup all the way through the entrepreneurial journey. And we know the local economy and the impact that our decisions have on our local economies. So we offer tailor-made solutions with flexible repayment terms and flexible security requirements. And applications are assessed on various criteria, including the impact on the local economy, local employment, the business climate in the community, and that's just to name a few. Some of our loans include our Community Improvement Plan matching loan, which we recently increased to $20K. And we do a matching loan for the Starter Company Plus program that is run by Enterprise Renfrew County. And we recently just closed our Can Trade program, which we had launched in response to the tariff uncertainties that businesses have been experiencing. So we try and respond to our local economy and the needs of our local businesses. And we also work alongside many community partners to assist with the creation of community economic development plans, to support value-added projects, to foster expansion into new sectors. We offer a big picture view of the health of our businesses, and we can assist with BR&E projects, strategic planning, and other initiatives. Some examples of projects that we've undertaken or assisted in over the years includes the Ottawa River Heritage Designation, selling food in Ontario workshops, feasibility for new Algonquin campus, and that's just to name a few. More recently, very popular series of the Funders Forum, which we held in March. And we had 13 funders come and over 100 participants. And that is to try and match up organizations and businesses looking for funding with the funders themselves. So we're a small team. There are 4 of us, so we offer in-depth counseling and tailored support. So my colleague Megan Sutherland is the business development officer and offers business development counseling on things like cash flow, the viability of a new business idea and that kind of thing. And I, as the community development officer, work on economic development projects and in line with our partners. And I also have a background in communications and marketing, so I offer counseling to businesses on that. And we work together to try and support our business clients as well as we can, and we refer to the right places if there's, something that we can't specifically help with. And we work closely with our partners at Enterprise Renfrew County as well. And they offer workshops and seminars that we sponsor, and we also offer some workshops as well independently. Yeah, and if we don't know the answer to your questions, we know somebody who does. So I encourage you all to reach out to us if you have any questions or require more information, or if you want to point a business towards us. You can find us at rccftc.org, and there's a QR code here you could scan. And we'll also encourage you to follow us on our social media if you're on any of the platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. And you can scan this QR code to subscribe to our newsletter. We send our newsletter out about once a month, and within the newsletter, you can find all sorts of supports for local businesses and organizations. If we know of a funding program, we make sure to get that in your awareness through our newsletter. And it also keeps you up to date with what's going on with us and our team. And that's it. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much for that excellent presentation, Michelle. I just had one question and then I'll turn it to councils if they have any. Are you seeing your numbers for loan applications and or funding support increasing, staying the same, decreasing? What's the climate like there for your team?
I would say that it's pretty much remains stable, about the same as always. Are you thinking in response to like economic shifts right now? A better person to specifically answer that question would be Megan. But yeah, we're meeting our targets, not super exceeding them or anything.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Councilor Reddish, Jean-Paul.
What's your definition of a small business, and where do the monies come from that you loan out to businesses?
Our definition of a would be small, medium business, I think specifically would be under a certain amount of employees.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly. but we're looking at, not big giant corporations, but your medium kind of businesses and startups and little shops. Because our loans only go up to 300,000. There's only so big businesses are not usually coming towards us for that reason, as they're looking for bigger investments. Sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Where do your monies come from?
Oh, yes. So we're supported by FedDov Ontario, and we have our own investment funds. So we have investments that we reintegrate into the community.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thanks again for that presentation, Michelle, and yes, we'll certainly, if we hear anybody looking for support, point in your direction.
Amazing. Thank you very much. And if you are interested in having us come by and offer some kind of workshop for your local businesses, we presented to Bonnechere Valley and we're doing something there. We'll also be doing a workshop in Renfrew. So just let me know if that's of interest for North Algona Wilberforce, and we'd be glad to come and do some kind of value-added activity for businesses, and also at the same time increase their awareness of our services. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, moving on in our agenda, then we're at item 7.1, which is a public works update. And I have a motion that council accepts the public works update report as information. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckles. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 7.2 is the Motor Sports Committee. I have a motion that council accepts this report as information pertaining to bylaws 2026-23 and 2026-24. Moved by Councillor Bucknell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. And I think I'll turn to Luke to just get a verbal update.
Thank you. Yeah, so we had, at our last meeting, we had, Kevin Clark's delegation to explain the, motorsports group or committee that is working towards the tractor pull and demolition derby. So that was a month ago. On the agenda, I prepared two bylaws, to enter into agreements with the groups that would come, the professionals related to the tractor pull, the tractor pullers and the sled operators. So if council sees fit, when it gets to that time on the agenda, council can pass those bylaws and staff will then take necessary steps to sign those documents and return them to the companies and pay the associated fees related to that service. At the April meeting, this was the resolution that was passed. And one of the important ones was a minimum sponsorship threshold of $8,000. And I can confirm that, or my staff can confirm, and as well with finance, that that was exceeded by today. So we're between $8,000 to $9,000 as of this afternoon.
Thank you. Comments or questions from council? Councillor Rector.
Anything about items like the committee structure, terms of reference on the itemized budget? And was any of that stuff dealt with?
I haven't seen anything, so I provided the resolution and at the April meeting, there was some notes that was presented with the delegation.
Any other questions, comments?
Oh,
Councillor.
this one just has to relate to the two companies. Do they also have insurance? Do they have proof of insurance, or are they all under our insurance?
No,
Like I thought last year we had insurance from the Fullers.
No, they do, I'm saying this with high confidence, but not certainty, because, yeah, that was part of our insurance stipulation, is the insurance that we're granted applies to the spectators, volunteers, etc., but the pullers have their own policy, and I'm pretty sure that's on the contract.
So, okay, because then I'm just wondering, do we get a copy of that we file until the event is over or not?
Of which of their insurance?
Yeah,
Yeah, we could certainly ask for it. I mean, if you don't mind, I can skip, like, if it's worth it, because in the agenda. For example, here's the agreements, one of them. The tractors. I saw the listing related to their insurance somewhat, it's not, okay.
Those are different mandatory insurance.
Was it on there? Sorry, did you see it there?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look to that.
Absolute down page. There you go, bottom of the screen. So it's part of the fees.
Yeah, so we're paying, yeah, there you go, that's. As for that insurance would be for their participants, or.
so that's the insurance to cover the people that are participating?
Well, the
The
tractors,
players?
yes,
I just asked Luke to reshare his screen, it's not showing up for the Zoom participants.
Okay,
So does that mean we're paying the $500 for the coverage or
yeah.
that's one of the things? So we pay our own insurance as a township and we're also paying the $500. We're paying the poolers $500 of insurance.
Yeah, within that, that's the agreement that was offered to us, yes.
So if there's a malfunction on one of the boats that causes harm to one of the participants, then that's covered.
Through their insurance, I would believe, what I can.
and actually, this is just accepting the report as information, so we can get more into the details when we get to the bylaws. And so then I will call for the vote just on accepting the report, all in favor. And that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.3 is the community risk and development. And I have a motion that council approves the fire department 2026 community risk assessment. So I have a mover and a second, moved by councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by councilor Robinson. Questions or comments? Councilor Schoenfeld?
Is this the first time that we've had to do a big report like this?
To this extent, yes, because they're changing, it used to be a simplified risk assessment,
Right,
which was considerably shorter.
okay. And then the one where you talked about, there's a different type of chemical that you can spray on fires, so then you can do different classes, I can't find it right now.
Oh, the,
A different type of class,
ISO 500.
yeah, so is that much more expensive than what we're traditionally using?
Yes, because most of the foam that we stocked that we had earlier was donated to us.
Right.
So anything that's gonna be more expensive.
And when you were doing your statistics for the different, like the population distribution and stuff, did you just pull that out of stats from Stats Canada or?
That's correct.
Cause I mean, there's definitely lots of information on all those
So, yeah.
pages.
Okay. There's a large document.
Of 367 pages.
Any other, yes, Councilor Buckwell.
Just a comment, I've had the opportunity to see the similar type of reports for other municipalities. This is a lot. So just kudos to chief.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Because I had a couple and, yes, I agree. This is a very, very detailed report and, certainly can appreciate the amount of work that went into it. There were just a couple of things that I was really pleased to see. One was the building stock inventory. And I think this is something that is very, very worthwhile. And the fact that it would be in collaboration with, you know, I guess the chief building official and the fire department, especially in regards to, the, accommodations, the, secondary units. I would imagine though, this would require quite a bit of work in order to pull it off.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff in there. So
Yeah.
some of it's a lower priority than others. But there's definitely some work to be done. This document is basically a starting point for everything else.
Right.
Once you know what your base risks are and your stat statistics, then you can make decisions about other documents such as the establishing and regulating bylaw and the services that want to provide.
The other thing that I found interesting was in the community engagement section, they adopt a truck. And some other communities are using this as a way to generate some fundraising dollars. And I thought, what a great idea as well.
The idea was presented, we haven't done any work on that yet. But it's, like I said, this document is there to lay out a path forward.
And so the adopt a truck is basically like a advertising billboard that companies subscribe to, or how is that how it works?
I believe so.
And finally, the development of a community risk reduction plan. Is that something that's top of your list, or where would you see that taking priority, and what kind of a timeline do you think that will take?
First of all, let me apologize. Quite on my A game, I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. With that fire, but yeah, definitely coming up with a plan to move forward with that is definitely be on the high end of our list.
And that's where I thought as well, that this should be part of the a new strategic plan for the new council coming in. And so,
Yes, that's why I brought it forward as information, not necessarily to act on directly, because I know you normally don't want to be tying anybody's hands. But it's close to an election.
right. No, I just think it's very important, and we don't lose sight of it. And, you know, as I say, the new council developing a new strategic plan.
Yes.
Make sure that you get your input on that. Thank you. That was it for my questions. Other than, yeah, I really, really appreciate it. It was good bedtime reading. So I'll call the vote. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 10.4 is the fire department seasonal burning. I have a motion that council accepts this fire department report as information, and that council provide direction to the fire chief regarding any adjustments to the application of the existing outdoor burning bylaws. Mover in a second, moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckland. Questions, comments? Councillor Ricky Schonfeld?
So I do think it's a good idea to keep everybody consistent, because there might be people that own property in Wilshire Valley and Norfolk Woman. Would there ever be any exceptions though, if we did go with something similar, like somebody could apply, they would burn a big pile of brush or something like that?
I'm thinking it'd be best if we didn't.
Mhm.
And you that one set of rules for.
And you just wait until it was you'd wait till after October 31st.
Right.
And that was my comment as well. I think having consistency across, especially with our neighbors, both Laurentian Valley and BV now have that bylaw. It can certainly cause confusion when we know some of the residents aren't even sure where the boundaries are, so. It creates a challenge.
Currently, with the existing, bylaw that we have and the permit system, we can just adjust the permit conditions so that nobody is able to even apply for a permit,
Okay.
making birds. So if they try to, it'll just shut them down.
But you don't see any significant disadvantage to having a no burn
Just,
time frame.
just some of the only residents. That would be the only real disadvantage to it.
But you wouldn't have that, not that many people, right? Like,
No, it's not gonna be like a lynch mob or anything.
yeah.
So this is just a report, to accept the report as information. I guess if there were any adjustments to the bylaw, I would have to come back to the future meeting, correct?
Yeah, and I think I'm hearing that there may be support to do so, so if that's.
Like I said, we can action it, the adjustments to the bylaws.
Okay.
Okay. Will need direction then?
Well, no, sorry, and that's something, sorry if I may. And that's something we discussed, so just to be clear. I think the chief is in support of it, but it's actionable without adjustments to the bylaw.
Correct.
Yes, and so is that understood? So we don't need to do anything for the chief to implement a seasonal burn.
Basically, you tell me you actually want that to happen, we can make it happen.
Yeah, I think that would be a direction, just a direction to staff. Because again, you don't need to change the bylaw, so the resolutions were any adjustments to the application of the existing bylaw. So that's just a procedural matter, but we can give a chief direction on that.
And I had to understand that too, so that's, just for clarification, that's an adjustment to the risk level through the summer season.
Correct.
And as long as that's captured in the minutes, I'm okay with that. Okay, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. And 7.5 is the ATV run. I have a motion that council considers the community grant application requesting free use of the snowdrifters facilities for July 25th, 2026. I will move in the second and moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Rector. Questions? Councillor Rector.
Okay, once again, do we know, do they have insurance? They're not going under our insurance, they have special insurance.
Yeah, so maybe I should grab the mic if the chief's done then, and, and see that, I did that. Yeah, so when the discussions with this group started, I suggested a special insurance policy, which they have through a series of iterations provided and subsequently approved by our insurance provider.
Okay, and would their insurance also cover the spectators too?
I'd have to look at, no, sorry, their insurance, I'd have to look at what it is. I think it's for the most part for the participants.
But then who would insure the spectators?
Yeah, let me choose what their policy is. I haven't.
Okay, and the other thing too, like when I was reading it, is it just like an independent person putting it on, like, I'm kind of confused, it doesn't say like they're raising money, let's say to go to a certain charity or anything. And it does talk about the fact like they're charging a $20 entry fee and $60 for participants. Yeah, personally, I'm not in favor of giving them free rental because they're gonna be, I'm assuming, using our washrooms.
Yeah, they would like the grounds, I presume they would like the whole
Thing, and so like,
property, yes.
I'm just like, it's kind of vague, I'd feel better if they're saying they're raising money for breast cancer or for sick kids or something like that.
I think in there is the animals.
Small shelter or something.
Like the SPCA.
Valley Animal Rescue, that sounds a little right, I think.
That's.
Yeah, that was the information I had in the Valley Animal Rescue.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause I don't see anything in their poster, which was a nice post, I don't like that. And that is all the money they raised going to the animal rescue? I mean, it gets balanced a bit, and once again, it seems like we've got a facility and people wanna use it, but they don't wanna pay for it. And it's still costing us.
Councilor Buckle.
Yeah, from my perspective, I think this goes beyond the scope of a small organization or deep wanting to use the community hall. This is for full use of the whole facility, and I would agree with Councilor Lake Shane felt that I would support a free use of the site for this as well.
And like really $500 isn't that much money, they're probably definitely gonna get that much back in the spectators, right? It doesn't take much to raise $500 in spectators, and they'll still have money to donate to that charity.
And I tend to agree with the two of you as well, that when they're charging a $20 admission fee and they're charging the participants, that I don't think it's unreasonable and we would expect them to pay rent. Because we still, like you said, they'd be using the washroom, so there's a cost to clean up after and, again, yeah.
Well, and I guarantee there's gonna be garbage generated too, so that means their public works people are gonna have to go clean that up also. I'm not saying it's not a good event to have, but I'm just saying that I think they can. Or like, Kevin Clark has done his sponsorships, right?
So I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed?
Oh, sorry, I was just reading
I
that.
was rereading the resolution, it doesn't really say anything. It just whether or not we're going to consider it.
Yeah.
I think it's the check. I think a friendly amendment would be to change considers to approves.
Yeah, but when I read it says free use, it seems like you're voting on the free use.
That's what I was
That's
voting on.
kind of the way I was interpreting it.
I was looking at the whole sentence.
Yeah, like we're not saying they can't use it, we're just saying if they wish to use it, they have to pay $500. And if that could be communicated back in.
Because when I read the whole resolution, it's whether or not council considers the application requested for use. We just consider it, we just are saying no.
That's right.
So
But it doesn't mean they can't use it.
well, no, it's for free use. I just. Yeah, we can, that's when I go with the votes, if the vote's been held, that's fine, but I just don't, think that's very clear.
So do we want Laura to just change the word, we'll change that to approve and council can defeat this without the, we do this friendly amendments?
That would be easy, that would be my suggestion.
Right. So one word,
Well,
So, when the Lord made the change, or the mover and second are okay with the,
fine with that wording.
okay? And again, all those in favor, those opposed? It's defeated.
But we can still communicate that if they pay $500, they can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Item 7.6 is the seniors music jam. I have a motion that council accepts the seniors monthly music jam report. It allows the music jam group for once a month, 2 hour free use of the Golden Lake Community Hall from September 2026 to May 2027. We have over this moved by Councillor Hutchinson, seconded by Councillor Bucklow. Questions, comments? Councillor Bucklow?
Now, from my perspective, this is the type of event that will be worthy of consideration. Just based on the nature of it. And if anybody's been down to see it, it's like, it's not a moneymaker, but it is very well received by the participants.
It's also community driven activity. Not for profit.
Yeah, just if I may, so as we know, this group started under a grant with Cameron being here. I forget if it was the New Horizons maybe, but it's like Councilor Buckwell said, it's popular, it's maintained its momentum, so now they want to continue the meetings without the grant, just on their own. Two folks within the group have stepped up to be the coordinators moving forward. And yeah, so they're still looking to continue as they started and continue.
So not that I'm on the insurance bandwagon, but then because we're renting it, our insurance would cover it. If something were to happen, somebody were to slip or something, I don't know why.
I presume we have insurance for all our facilities. Yeah.
And then the two people that have stepped up to be like, let's say the go-to people, those would be the ones that would be in charge. They get the code to open and close and all that stuff.
That's one of the primary roles of the coordinators.
Right, and then I'm just thinking of, for some strange and unknown reason, it had to be canceled, maybe something happened, there was a flood or a snowstorm. Then those are the people that you'd reach out to and then they disseminate that to them.
Yeah, and they take a small amount of donations from the group, so they bought a Costco thing, a coffee and tea, understand?
Right, yeah, because before that grant used to cover some of those items, but now they're just looking for the free rental of the hall. Right?
I agree that I think it's a great initiative because what it's done is really provided a social outlet for a lot of our, and especially those that are musicians, it's brought them together and created that fellowship, and they certainly do look forward to the entertainment as well as I guess those that just come to listen. In fact, I even had an email letter from a couple that had just recently moved into the area. And they were thrilled that they had a place that they could go to like that, to provide an opportunity not only to share their music, but to meet some of the people in the community, so.
And I'm sure there's a slight economic benefit too, because I have a feeling when they go there, they might go to the cottage shop or they might go get, gas or, maybe they go to the pharmacy. So I think there might be a little bit of, positive economic.
And just as Councillor Robinson has said, it's really been an organic, community-driven initiative, so. Yeah, be nice to see it continue. I'll call a vote, all in favor. That's carried, thank you. Item 7.7 is the Golden Lake Community Garden, and I have a motion that council accepts the Golden Lake Community Garden report. It allows the Golden Lake Community Garden Group two $60 monthly rentals of the Golden Lake Community Hall from May to the end of September 2026. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Questions, comments? Once again, I do feel that this is another worthwhile group to support because so much of the produce that was raised in the gardens is also shared with our food bank. Any other comments? All in favor? That's very thank you. And 7.8 is the Killaloe Community Resource Center, and I have a motion that council accepts the Community Resource Center Killaloe report as presented, and that council reduces the CRCK June 11th, 2026 Snowbird Foods rental fee by $45. Moved by Councillor Becky Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Leopold. Questions, comments, Councillor Leopold?
Just a question for staff. Are they unable to use the regular venue? Because I know they have another venue that they normally use.
I believe so, that's why they only need a one-time use.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.9 is to establish 2026 tax rates. I have a motion that council accepts this report as information pertaining to bylaw 2026-22, being a bylaw to establish 2026 tax rates. Moved by Councillor Becky Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Buckholz. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 7.10 is the financial position update. I have a motion that council accepts the financial update report or information and presented. Moved by Councillor Buckholz, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Questions, comments? Councillor Becky Schoenfeld.
The COVID strain, tell me why that one's still in.
We just received the money from, I believe it was 2020.
So we have submitted whatever we had to submit, and then we just received it a little while ago.
I'm not quite sure how that grant all came.
That was a slow process, to say the least, so we just did, there's been a number of grants that are open, that are being in the process of closing the grants. Takes a number of stuff, performance report, final reports, financial reports, and takes a number of things, so that one, yeah, started, I think, either 2020 or 2021. It had a number of things in the community just closed, and federal government, paid the portion.
Oh, that's hard to believe. I took that off. That's,
And it always sometimes surprises me that the federal government will send out a request that you not share the information on grants until they're allowed to make a public announcement. And sometime the work is done, completed, people are aware of it, and it might be 2 years down the road where the federal government releases the
Actual funds.
or the information to announce that they released the funds. So
thank you.
interesting timelines sometimes.
Mhm.
All in favor? Very quickly. Item 7.11 is credit union services update. I have a motion that council receive this update report for information as presented. Moved by Councillor Buckholz, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments or questions? Councillor Becky Schoenfeld.
So I was just confused. So we send and they do our payroll, like tell me how that works,
So I send them a payroll file
right?
and they pay everybody.
They do the checks. Do they process the checks?
They process the payroll.
Okay.
So now when I create that file and process it, I give it to myself and I have to do what they used to do.
So did they actually print out the check and or send it automatically to
Everybody got automatic payments.
okay. So now they're not gonna do that anymore? Now you're gonna have to do
Yeah.
that? Did we pay them to do that?
No,
So now you're gonna have to do all that stuff. Through just a crazy kind of computer program?
well,
Sound it is though, like another kind of program?
yes,
This was a big shock to Andrew when it came through that they were retracting services previously provided. It's a big disappointment.
yes.
Councillor Robinson.
I was just wondering how much money I was that nearly 4 years.
So when it's just admin and public works and council, it's fine, but orderly, there's gonna be the fire department that you manually have to input one employee at a time.
Councilor Buckle.
Are there other financial institutions that would do that as part of our business banking plans? If there's not a chance to look into that yet, sorry.
So I'm sure there is.
My suggestion would be if staff would look into that.
And this is kind of the segue that, because it's a very big disappointment that you have with. We have a lot of money sitting with this institution. And then they were doing a service that probably was seamless on their end that they've now retracted on. It adds not only time, but a serious complication. And, you know, if Andrea is away, like, we have a pay system and of course how important it is that staff get paid. And now if Andrea said, for example, for a raise, this is a major complication now, and it's significant.
So Andrew, you can't take vacation anymore.
Councilor Robinson.
I guess the other question I would have is, most of the softwares out there can do the whole processing. And this is probably for you, but are you able to find out whether or not, like, the program that they're using have a full range of abilities?
So even with Batum, we could process the payroll all in Batum, you still have to create a payroll file and upload it to your financial institution. So it's the same as pre-authorized payments.
Yeah.
So to take everybody's taxes, we could offer pre-authorized payments. And when I reached out to Northern Credit Union, they will not accommodate us. No. Nothing new, and they're just continuing.
What if all?
Yes.
So I would suggest that there are other abilities out there, other softwares that will do the same thing. Or service providers that will do the same.
Yeah, I believe it's right now, it's a financial institution problem, not a software problem.
I understand. Yeah, but I'm just saying that outside of the financial institution, there are others that they're starting because I use them as a service.
Oh, I see.
So basically, one of the ones that's there that I do use, I just load everything up, the hours.
Yep.
And once it's set up, it takes $100 from your account and it gives $20 to everyone that needs to get.
Okay.
And so there are those kind of services out there. And that might be something that you would have, I'm sure, at this point in time.
Okay.
Just to eliminate you spending a gazillion hours doing it.
Councilor Buckle, and then Councilor.
And I think the new fire department software that we started using this year, I think it has the ability to export payroll files that you should be able to use with probably with the other softwares.
So I can still export our payroll, but I've got nobody to process
We
it.
institutions.
And you somebody to process it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilor Rachel.
The other municipalities, have you reached out to them to see what financial institution they use and kind of what they do?
So I know Boncher Valley and Adamson use BMO,
Right,
and right from the software, you upload a file and you send that file to the bank.
right,
And ASCII file is what it's called, and they process it.
right. I wonder where our BV is going now that, I guess they can do it.
It's transferred.
They can do
it.
Just say maybe that's another option too.
I just saw that because I think it's something good to continue to track, because there's other shortcomings potentially that we've discussed. Low interest rates being an example on our savings accounts. But one of the challenges, if we do change financial institutions and all the folks with the, and even when we speak this with their mortgages set up. We'll have to offer payments, we'll then have to make adjustments on their end as well. So is that?
Yeah, so
saying
then,
it wrong?
yeah, any rate payers that have automatic withdrawals on their bank accounts with Northern Credit Union, they are.
Right. Right, so then you have to inform all those people, or somebody has to.
Yes. So I'm not sure how it works, maybe Northern Credit Union will notify
Those.
them that they need to, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, probably no.
I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
So we're leaning towards might be a time to start more seriously investigating other institutions, but it will come with, like, it's a project.
And just For clarification, that's so Northern Credit Union just sent notification, we're not gonna do this anymore. They didn't say we wanna charge for this service, they just said, we're not gonna do it.
That's correct.
Uh,
Just no longer offering payroll services.
Just looking at the timelines, that was effective May 13th. They actually shut down operations last weekend to merge to amalgamate themselves with the other credit union they've taken over. So I'm guessing that maybe that's when they decided to do this, when they did the software changes.
Yeah. Yes, we were notified in March.
Yeah, which, yeah, that'd be about right, because shareholder information is a thing.
What's that?
all in favor of receiving the report? Thank you, that's carried. And 7:12 is Canada Day. I have a motion that council accepts the Canada Day 2026 report as information. Moved by Councillor Buckworth, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Well, comments or questions? I just want to thank staff and Councillor Schoenfeld for the input into the Canada Day activities. And we look forward to great celebration. Call the vote. There's no other questions. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you.
Yeah.
Item 7:13 is the Killaloe OPP board report. And I have a motion that council accepts the board report as information. Mover and seconded. Moved by Councillor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Questions? Councillor Buckle.
Just a comment, again, we've held our second meeting of the four required to do. All of our members are now officially sworn in, they've had their training, they're all part of the board. The nice thing is general level, we're not seeing any big spikes in bad activities, except the traffic, highway traffic, so a lot of speeding, things like that. On that subject, we received a little bit of correspondence from some repairs with concerns about Bristol Road and Beeline Road and Lake Dory. I passed those on to the detachment commander, and she's going to identify those areas to focus on proceeding for when they're doing that in our township. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 7:14 is the Bolger Union Public Library Report. I have a motion the council accepts the May 2026 Bolger Union Public Library Board and CEO reports as moved by Councillor Blackwell, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Questions, comments? Councillor Schoenfeld.
Just, it was nice that they celebrated the volunteers. That's a nice thing because it's hard to have volunteers, right?
Yeah, they do that.
So it's a nice way just to recognize and thank them.
It's good. It's very positive meeting and a lot of activities. One of the things that they're really finding is the mental health concerns within the community is drawing into the library system. So that is something that they're certainly keeping in mind.
Which means it's like a safe space and people are doing.
It's a safe space, which is, what we're trying to promote. But when an individual comes in that's disrupting that, there was one situation earlier in the year where they actually had to ask the person to leave or for 9 days because of activities that were not conducive to public consumption. So, but that's what's been noticed, and it's not just our library, but all the libraries are really looking at that, and the Ontario Federation of Libraries are really pushing to get some action from the provincial government on.
Councillor Buckle.
Oh, just a question, do you know if the staff has had any additional training for dealing with individuals with mental health crises?
What they're trying to say, that should not be their purview. But there's an awareness that they have to do something. The chief librarian looks at that.
Okay.
And the staff is aware enough or alert enough to, bring it to for attention.
Yeah, because the thing I'm looking at is it's not, I'm not, not the staff who are doing interventions for people that were in crisis, but even just recognizing that they may need some additional support or able to at the right time. Just more for awareness and understanding on their behalf, because again, you don't get a much quieter place even in a library for someone that needs that.
Well, even now, the scheduling of activities will create awareness because some seniors love to be very quiet. So they have a period that is just for seniors on certain days so that they can feel comfortable coming. And, most of the time the evenings are for the young adults and children. So there's a balance. But what happens is because we have the public computers.
Right.
And anything can happen with those, and that's where some of the things that cause negative things to happen. And that's
Well, and too, like I agree with Councilor Buckle that, the staff should have an awareness of this, if it's escalating, here's some strategies to use. And if this happens, just so
the
that,
escalation process.
right, so they're not caught off guard.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Then 7:15 is in regards to the Pride picnic. I have a motion that council determines support for the use of Melissa Bishop Park by Eganville and area team leads for P Flag Renfrew County. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Can you bring that request up, please, that report? So questions or comments? I don't mind providing use of the gazebo, the barbecue, and the park, but I have an issue with, the greenhouse, the staffing for the hub and, paddle boards, etc. Councilor Rector.
Like that is typically, any of those dates could be a very busy date down at the park, and I don't know if we have the capacity, to allow something like that to happen when they might have that many people, when they might have that many more people there, like, where would they park? That's to me like wanting to provide a lifeguard. We've never provided a lifeguard or using the equipment to go for a paddle. I think it's nearly too much for that venue. Like, I don't know how it's.
Just a question for staff, are we aware of any issues the last time they used it? It's like, I don't recall any that came to council.
I don't think just talking about it in the office that anybody really recalls too much about the event. I think. Without going into details, it kind of, I guess it happened, but I'm not aware of it.
It did happen, because I got an invitation to attend the day of, which I wasn't able to, but they seemed to have a good turnout, and I mean, I certainly didn't hear any complaints, so. That's about it.
I think staff's comments that 1 and 2 are feasible. I'm not sure what the issue of the portable stage is. Wasn't aware that we had one available for public use
Yeah, well, I don't know much about it either, I don't know where we put a portable, do we need to, again, you get the public works staff to, I don't know much about portable sewage.
I think it is set up at the park.
Oh.
It's been left there.
But I think it's like piled on top, I kind of looked at it today,
No, it's a,
like, so it's not like a big square, but I think it's piled on top that they have to probably. Yeah, I don't know,
Okay, I thought maybe there was more to it than that.
no, but I mean, once again, like. If somebody were to fall off the stage, then are we liable for that, like maybe the stage isn't in good condition, who's gonna, like. You know, we talked about how overworked the public works staff is at that time. I don't know.
Councilor Robinson and then Councilor.
I'm of the opinion that we provide a facility. The rest is up to them as a group to organize and mitigate their own risks. Like we shouldn't be having to pay for someone to be there for them.
I agree. Councilor Buckle.
I would agree with that too. I don't see us providing staffing for it. And as far as the income goes, if they have residents from the township that wanted to sign that equipment when the pub was open, I would be okay with that, and extending the timelines a little bit to get it through and have return them. But I can't see us opening the outdoor for an event that, again, we don't know much it is or isn't going to be used.
Right. Any other feedback?
Well, just about where it says, approval to set up extra barbecues if possible, like what would that look like?
I'm thinking that would just be a matter of talking to the fire chief and the fire protection officer, just to confirm that they have enough space there. I don't believe there's anything in our rules about using personal barbecues on the site.
not that we're aware of.
I don't think so. But if they were to bring their own, that would be fine. It shouldn't be an issue. As far as the income. But again, I don't see us providing another one for the event.
Okay. All in favor of approval, just items 1 and 2 for the use when that day. Those opposed? That's carried, thank you. Item 9.1 are the non-action items. I have a motion that correspondence items 9.1.1 to 9.1.7 be accepted as information. Moved by Councilor Buckle, seconded by Councilor Hodgson. Comments on any of those? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. So I have from Township. The resolution, whereas the Township of North Wilberforce received correspondence from Indiana Township. And that the Council of the Township of North Wilberforce support the motion in opposition to the development of the Alto High Speed Rail project in its current form. Do I have a move by Councilor Buckle, seconded by me? Well, seconded by Councilor Randy Schoenfeld. Comments? Councilor Buckle?
Have we not already got a letter of support for another municipality on the subject?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Well, it's defeated.
It was defeated, yeah.
Defeated. This was asking for support.
Well, that's what this one is, if in opposition to the development in its current form. We could say the same.
The same,
Yeah. Well, call the vote, all in favor?
Oh, like a favor
Of the opposition.
I know, but it's just,
So what was our previous resolution on this? Did we support the rail or did we support the opposition?
It was defeated.
We defeated the resolution
It's for.
in its current form.
So we were opposed to the project in its current form.
Yes,
Okay,
which is what I.
so to be
think is saying.
consistent then,
Yes.
we would be in favor of this letter saying that we're not in favor of the project going the way it is.
Yes.
Okay,
It's.
I just hate to see us vote one way and then the other.
Yeah,
Just
it's a very
yeah.
backhanded way.
Anyway, once again, all in favor? And that is carried, thank you. And 9.2.2 is the Eatonville Leader. I have a motion that council directs staff to purchase a half-page ad in the Eatonville Leader's summer vacation magazine for $495 plus HST through the council public relations budget. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments? Are we using the same picture or what is
Council.
I'm trying to find a picture.
was it in the reports in the agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the only one we have?
That's what was used last year.
Councilor Buckwald.
My comment would be for this year to use the same one. But maybe going forward, we should look at developing some in-house materials that we would like to use for consistency in marketing.
Yeah.
That points out more of the facilities
Yes.
as opposed to just the graphical, what the geographic area is. But I don't think we have time to do that at this point.
Unless we ask them to develop something.
So can we just make a recommendation to staff that maybe this come back and with a report in the future that a plan to move forward to develop some of those? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the direction of staff, we should develop a common identity process,
Right,
right? So that it's consistent through all of our marketing.
and a library of some.
And a library of some camera ready items that can go for ads.
Well, and highlighting our three rental facilities would be good too.
Yeah,
This is, we're gonna market, let's market.
yeah, exactly. Okay, all in favor? That's very good. Item 9.2.3 is Seniors Month. I have a motion in council proclaims June as Seniors Month in North Algona Wilberforce Township. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, second by Councilor Robinson. And what defines the senior? Is it 65 plus or?
I wouldn't get discounts, 55 plus.
No, if you're shoppers, it's.
At a lot of restaurants.
Okay, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Moving to bylaws, and 10.1 is bylaw 2026-20. Now therefore, the Council of North Dakota enact the following bylaw. Bylaw 2026-20, a bylaw to establish the clerk's rules and procedures for vote by mail. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Item 10.2 is bylaw 2026-21. Now therefore, the Council of North Dakota Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2026-21, to designate authority to the clerk CAO during the restricted acts, i.e. lame duck period. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Jean-Paul. Comments? All in favor? It's carried, thank you. In 10.3 bylaw 2026-22. Now therefore the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2026-22 to establish the 2026 tax rates and to further provide for penalty and interest in default of payment thereof for 2026. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Jean-Paul. Comments? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. In 10.4, bylaw 2026-23, bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township and M&L Enterprises. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Jean-Paul. Comments? Councillor Jean-Paul.
We just also see about their insurance too, besides the police signs.
Yeah. Any other comments? If not, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Bylaw 2026-24, authorize the execution of an agreement between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township and Whitewater Truck and Tractor Pullers, WWTTP. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments? None, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Are there any matters of urgency? Councillor Jean-Paul.
Okay, my rec report wasn't on the agenda package, and I actually just noticed it now. And so the one thing at our rec committee meeting, Township had sent us an email, and it was about the tree lighting in Golden Lake. And basically, Carrie Lynn helped last year. So it really, the whole event was started by Val and Amanda. Like, and every year they have to get a crane to fix the lights, take the lights off, replace the lights, and a whole bunch of other things. So last year, Carrie Lynn McGrath helped because she also has a lighting, will do lighting, and she also does some other things. So she really helped too. So she went to a trade conference and found some industrial type lights that I guess do expand as a tree grows, and they should have a life expectancy of 5 to 7 years. So basically, she can get the lights at cost. She would give us the lights at cost. And she also got a really good deal on the crane to put it up. So in theory, once, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because like soon we won't have any meetings and Val and Amanda and Carrie wants to get to up this. So they would rent the crane and then they wouldn't have to like take the lights and fix the lights every year. So the rec committee, we talked about that. And we are willing to give $1,500 towards the project through our recreation budget, right? So I wanted to bring that up to council to see if that was an okay thing to do and if you'd support us. Then when I did talk to Val, the whole cost of the project is a little under $2,200. Okay, so they do have monies, but when I talked to Val, she wants to use those monies, I think $500 or $700 that she has to supply like the food and other miscellaneous stuff. So then this is what I was thinking after I talked to her. So the difference is like $500 or $600. So if we as the recreation committee donate $1,500 out of our monies, then I was wondering, like, as a council, could we donate the other $500 so then that whole thing would be covered and they can use their raised monies to support for the next 5 years candies for the kids and all that other stuff. So I'm just putting out there as a discussion in that we as the rec committee have decided that we'd like to donate $1,500. I do think, and we talked about it too, like, there's a couple people who have told me that's the beginning of their Christmas season, when they see the lights, right? And lots of people, when they're driving through Golden Gate, they see the lights. So, Val did show me a picture, so it's like, kind of like a canopy lights and they go around, and the fact is, then every year, and I have to realize too, I think they only came to council once for some money. So for the last 4 or 5 years, they've been doing that one.
So my suggestion would be, to raise this as a matter of urgency, that we bring something back to council for the next meeting, which will be in June.
So,
Because we have nothing right now.
that's right.
As far as the resolution.
So what I can do is, I can, so Val sent me what Carrie Lynn has sent me, right, so then I can forward that, and you can see how much it is. Like at first glance, I thought the $1,500 is great, and then they can raise the rest to pay the rest of that bill. But then when I talk to them, you know, they do provide other things other than just putting the lights on the tree and other stuff. So, I mean, to me, it's a little community event, and to me, like, it's a community highlight. So like, I mean,
So if you brought that to staff, then they could have a report for the next meeting, they'll see the resolution.
and that's what I'll do.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Are there any notices of motion? Reports from committees? We've gone through them all. So upcoming meetings and unfinished business. Our next recreation committee meeting is June the 1st at 7 p.m. Our next regular council meeting will be June 16th at 7 p.m. And that concludes our open part of the meeting. And then I have a resolution that council will go into closed session pursuant to section 239(2)B of the Municipal Act of any one personal matter about an identified individual. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Helens. All in favor? That's carried. We will go into closed at 8:28 p.m. So I have bylaw 2026-25 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for May 2026. Read the first and second time this 19th day of May 2026. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Ellison. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And finally, stop together. I have a motion that this May 19th, 2026 regular meeting of council adjourned at 9:07 p.m.
That's the wrong time.
Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Johnfeld. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We are adjourned.